What's up and welcome back, treasure hunters. So when I go treasure hunting, I'm always looking for unique stuff, art, sculptures, pottery, that sort of thing. That's just what I like to look for. I was thinking, what are some of the hardest things about treasure hunting? And some might think, it's not knowing what to buy or not knowing if you're charging, enough for the items that you have for sale, all that. But honestly, for me, one of the hardest things about treasure hunting is finding things and not being able to identify them. So you're kind of stuck in limbo because you don't want to give it away because you're not sure if it could be worth a lot more. And that's what I've run into with these items. So the hardest part is you find these items, you recognize that they're cool, they're different, you haven't seen them before, but no one else, really knows too much about them except possibly the experts. But for you to get their opinion on it, you have to pay them, however much money. So that's kind of what I run into every once in a while. I have a shelf full of things that I just try to identify, try to get some answers for, but I can't bring myself to sell them until I find those answers out. And before we get into those items, remember, sometime I'm going to be giving you what to comment below, and I will be giving away a free treasure of mine sent to you for free. So stay tuned sometime in this video, see what to comment, do it below, and a couple days after, I will randomly pick someone and send it out. So I've had these two elephants for a long time. If they were like soapstone, just carved elephants, it would be, pretty easy, just to throw them up online for 50 bucks or whatever it might be. But these are actual stone. They don't have any markings or anything. I've done like Google Lens searches of these and I found nothing exactly like these, some similar stuff, and they're all over the place in prices. Like from, more modern stuff, which I don't think these are too modern, but I don't really know, for not that much money, to older, stuff where they were carved hundreds of years ago and they were worth thousands of dollars. So I can't bring myself, especially it doesn't take much space up, but I can't bring myself to post these until I figure out more. Now along that same direction, I found this a long time ago, and it is very, it has, I forget what it's called, Bronze disease or something. You can see it with all the green. That's what happens when whatever chemical reaction happens with bronze, I guess. But this is Athena, I believe, and I forget who she's holding here. But I did a Google search of these, and there are a lot of modern ones of these made, but there are some differences in how she's holding this piece of metal. This one looks way older, and most likely this is just some souvenir piece from mid-century or something. But again, until I get some sort of insight from somebody who knows what they're looking at, I can't bring myself to sell this. Probably it's worth 25 bucks or something. But it's so small, it's not like it's taking up much space. So I just need to get someone's insight. So here's another piece that has been sitting on my shelf for years. So here's another piece. This is a metal Buddhist statue here. And I got this at auction. I don't remember what I paid. It wasn't much. And the thing that got me about this is, you know, it's not solid, but there's something inside. And also there's a whole bunch of writing on the bottom, which obviously is in a different language and I can't read it. So I haven't found anything like this, especially with all the writing and then whatever the hell is inside of this. Makes it pretty heavy. I just want to know more about this before I list it. I don't even know, you know, what to say about it, what it says on the bottom, anything. Could be a prayer, could be, who knows. So this is another piece that I thought was really cool, but never really found any information on. So for me, one of the hardest things to identify, at least signature-wise, are glass signatures, because it's hard to identify, you know, painter signatures and all they're signing is with like a pencil or a brush or whatever. But when a signature is etched into glass in a small spot, it can be super hard to figure out what the signature says. I have a whole bunch of cool glass pieces like this one. This is a fused glass piece. You can see very brightly colored, kind of a little bit abstract, just kind of a smushed little vase here. But again, it's signed on the bottom. And this one isn't, you know, I would consider just listing this one. I just want to know what the signature is. I posted it on some glass collectors Facebook groups and stuff, and never really got anything, but it's really nicely done. It's pretty thick, and I like the bright colors and everything. I just don't know what it says. So I got this a long time ago, and it was really cheap, so it can sit around for a little bit longer. I think at some point though, I'll just post this for something and see if I can sell it. Here's another piece of glass. I can't tell what it is. There's a signature. This one's like very just kind of meshed together. Nothing like super spectacular or anything, but who knows? Like, I got this again, you know, less than $5 years ago, and just have not been able to figure out what the signature says. So there's another piece of glass that I probably, again, will end up posting at some point if I can't figure it out, because it's not like a monumental crazy piece or anything, but something I'd just like to know a little bit more about. Now, I'm not going to show you all the glass pieces that are hanging out, but this is another interesting one, just because it is kind of abstract in nature. Kind of cool how they have this, I don't even know how they did this with the band of color at the top. But what really gets me on this, it is signed, and it looks like a Giannetto, but it's dated 43. So that's what really sparked my interest, is that it's so old. I found this at a Goodwill, and again, this was $2 or $3. It was like, you know, super cheap. I've done tons of searches on this, and I'm pretty sure, I mean, it's not too hard to read a Giannetto, or, you know, if it's a dot, you know, that's a first name, then Giannetto, or if it's all one, I'm not sure. This is, again, something I'd like to try and find a little bit more about, and, you know, see if it might be worth more than, I don't know, 50 or 100 bucks. So one more weird glass piece that I've had forever and have never been able to figure out what that says. I don't even know what this is. It looks like, I mean, these kind of look like fingers. I don't know, a very abstract, strange piece. Probably some sort of paperweight or whatever. But it is signed and dated 92. And I got this for $1 or $2 a long time ago. And this is another piece that you know, for $1 or $2, it's not like I need that back. You know, and it's small. I just want to figure out who made it. So even more than glass is the amount of paintings I have or artwork and the amount of pottery I have that I can't identify. And I guess that's pretty typical, and it's something I need to get over and just post this stuff. But there are some pieces that still I just can't get myself to post without knowing more. This is one piece. I got this, I remember, at the Salvation Army. It was next to nothing, and it's just interior here. It's an older piece, very well made. It's pretty thin and has a strange mark on the bottom. Most likely this isn't worth a whole hell of a lot, but it's another thing I just want to know more about it. I think it's probably Southwestern Mexican or something, but I'm not totally sure. I've also seen Japanese pieces that have a similar shape. So again, it's another piece. I just need to figure out more. So here's another small piece I got. Really cool glazed design here. To me, it screams Middle East somewhere. But that's just, I mean, that really comes from nothing. I don't know. It just, the stuff like the Middle Eastern pottery that I've had before, or the patterns that I've seen, that's kind of what it reminded me of. It is older for sure, and it is marked on the bottom, but I have no clue what this mark is. And this is something I posted too and didn't really get any definitive answers, but it's really nice. I got this for like a couple dollars, like a long time ago. And it's another piece. It's so small, it doesn't take up much space, and I just want to know at least a little bit more about it before I post it. So I'm not going to go into all the pottery I have because that would take forever, but here's the last piece I'll show you. And this is, I mean, it's definitely foreign, I would say, but I picked this up at like a secondhand store. It's like, I don't even know if they're still in business around here, honestly, but I got it for $1 or $2, like super cheap. And you could tell it's older. There's crazing in all this cream colored area, and it looks to be hand painted, like all these little designs and stuff. And then on the bottom, one thing that I noticed, you know, when they have these like impressed numbers on the bottom, there's no other marks besides these two impressed numbers. But a lot of times those impressed numbers, just the way that it looks, the style of the font and stuff, indicates that it's older. But I have no clue how old this is, where it came from, or anything like that. I've done image searches, I posted this places, and haven't found anything. So this is another piece that I just can't bring myself to post without knowing more. So the last thing I have, the last section, I guess, of things that I can't identify would all be artwork. And that could be a whole nother video in itself, because I have a whole section in my basement of artwork that is unique and cool and, you know, different, and could possibly be more valuable than just, you know, some old piece of art. So I'm not going to run through and show you. I'm going to show you a couple pictures of these artworks. There's a couple landscapes in here. Some abstract pieces. There's this Rorschach piece, you know, that has a couple weird little signatures and monograms. There's just a whole bunch of other pieces. And with art, I think the biggest thing is every time, like I just saw like Dr. Lori had she just recently posted this video, and this guy bought a small owl painting, and I think it was on like board or wood or something. Found it at an estate sale, like off in the corner. People didn't even know what the price was on it, didn't even know it was there. So he picked it up with a bunch of other stuff, and I think his total bill for everything was like $900. And he estimated maybe he paid like $200 or $250 for this small owl painting. He did some research and stuff, and then did a video call with Dr. Lori, and ended up figuring out that this was done by, I forget the name, last name was Abercrombie, I think. She estimated the value at $100,000, which is unreal. And those kind of stories are the things that really hold me back from selling things that I can't figure out. Like, I guess that is honestly one of the hardest things about treasure hunting for art and stuff like that is, sure, you want to make profit and stuff, but at the same time, I feel so uncomfortable selling certain pieces when I don't have information, and I don't have a trained eye in art. I don't know the specifics about art where, the color theory and how things are laid out and, that sort of stuff. Like, I have no education in that. I just go off of, what appeals to me, what I think is unique. I do know some basics, but nothing like an expert would know. So maybe some of the pieces I have are worth a lot. Maybe some of them, or maybe they're worth nothing. Like, I don't know, but it's not like I spent a ton of money on them. So I'd rather figure that out first than just sell them for $100 or something and find out it could have been worth a hell of a lot more. So before I let you go, you got to make that comment if you want to get into the free giveaway. And in the comment, I just want you to mention one item that you found that you can't identify, but you also can't get rid of. And even if you don't have something like that, if you haven't been treasure hunting yet, or you're just kind of starting out, then post, what been keeping you from actually going out and treasure hunting. Like, what's that biggest obstacle that you need to get over to go out there and do it? So a couple different ways to enter. But anyway, thank you all for watching. Appreciate it. I am going to be doing my best to do some more in-store videos. I'm going to be visiting, like when I go to the thrift stores and stuff, sometimes I'm in and out in 10 minutes, and it just doesn't really make for good content because I just walk up and down the aisles, and if nothing catches my eye, then I'm gone. So sometimes I take those videos, and it seems like every time I take a thrift store video, I'm like, okay, I'm going to make one, thrift with me or whatever. I don't buy a bunch of stuff. Like, there are other YouTubers that, will go and fill carts with all sorts of stuff that they're going to resell. And that's just not what I do. Like, it's just not what I'm interested in. I'm not interested in, obviously I'm interested in making money, but I'm not interested in, just the ordinary kind of, make $15 here, $20 here. Like, I just really enjoy looking for unique items, art, rare items, that sort of thing. So it doesn't really lend me a lot of leeway to make a video, I guess. So anyway, be sure to drop that comment if you want to get entered into the giveaway for this video. And I appreciate all of you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting me. And I hope that you all find some awesome treasures when you're out there treasure hunting.